The mother of 23-year-old Lauren Smith Fields of Bridgeport says her family's world came crashing down 10 days ago when her daughter was found dead inside her apartment on Plymouth Street under what the family describes as mysterious circumstances. The medical examiner has not yet released the cause of death, and investigators aren't commenting.
Without a doubt, we know that my daughter was not a drug user, and I had a second autopsy myself. We paid out of pocket because we felt so uncomfortable with the way it was handled.
It's Lauren. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
Lauren was a familiar face to YouTube audiences. Her family says she had been a track star at Stanford High School and was now studying physical therapy at Norwalk Community College. A sweet child, they say, who had blossomed into a beautiful young woman who had the whole world at her feet. They say Lauren had met, quote, an older white man on the dating app Bumble, and it was he who alerted police to Lauren's death. The family says they are not satisfied with answers they got from an investigator.
I asked him about the guy. He just made it seem like the guy was a nice guy. It was nothing to investigate.
The only contact that we have had was from a very insensitive, condescending, and arrogant detective.
Lauren's dad reading a scathing statement saying police failed to extend the most basic courtesies and told his family to stop calling. Councilwoman Maria Pereira says police owe Lauren's mom an apology.
She sent a really well-written email, and I was shocked when just yesterday she told me she had not even received a response.
A mom who's left to plan her daughter's funeral just days before Christmas says she's struggling to find a path forward.
Life is not the same. I don't know who I'm going to be after this.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12, Connecticut.
Your heart just goes out to that family.
Hi, you guys. So the young lady, Lauren, I guess right before the holidays, she met some guy on Bumble. This is what they're saying in the video. And somehow he was at her apartment. He calls the police and says something's wrong with her. I don't know if she was dead when they got there or what happened. I think it's very suspicious that the police department and the media, because the media has a way to find out things as well. So I find it very suspicious that they won't release the man's name. And as if to protect him, as if he's not a suspect, when we all know that he is a suspect. They have said time and time again, whenever a situation is happening, in particular to a woman or any, I guess, married couple, it can even happen to a man, you don't have to look any further than the person closest to that person. And so with that said, the man was there. He was the one who found her, or supposedly found her. I'm curious to know, how did he get into her apartment in the first place? And so, you know, like I said, it's very suspicious and troubling to hear that story. And I've heard of the story over at Tariq Nasheeds' page. He had put up a video called the Die-vestment Game. And if you're not aware of it, there is a sector here on YouTube that call themselves the Divestment Group, right? The Divestment sector. And so he, in his video, are constantly pointing to the black women who do this. I think he brought up the guys maybe for 5 seconds, but the entire video is, you know, Tariq is pretty much pointing out all these black women that came up dead at the hands of non-black men. Of course, being that he's a black man, I guess he's trying to just kind of say, yeah, you guys are over there saying this, that, and the other, but look what's happening to you at the hands of these other men. And I do agree with him to an extent for some of the stuff that he was saying in the video. I do agree with that. People here on YouTube, some of these women can make it sound like, oh, you're going to go and get in this relationship with this other person, and it's just going to be a fairy tale, fairy dust sprinkled everywhere ending, right? And that's not real to life. It's just not real to life. And I think I've said that so many times in some of these people's comments. It's just not real to life to kind of push that narrative that, especially to our younger women. I think constantly saying that you're going to get into these relationships with non-black men, and you're not going to get anything but support and loving and nurturing men out of these relationships. And that's not always true. That's not true at all. There's a point in that they should be more responsible with the way that they say things in these videos, and I've said that before. But it's not just the black women. I think it's the black men as well that are on here. The fake high value nonsense, and acting as if so much is wrong with their woman, right? That they have to say all this nonsense. But the truth of the matter is, anything can happen to anyone, regardless of race. So, and with the fact that these relationships have, increased over the years, I think since like the 80s, they've increased. You're going to hear these stories. That's what I say. You're going to hear these stories because it's real life. You should not expect that there's going to be fairy tale endings with all of these relationships like that. Just like it's not fairy tale endings with all black relationships. It's the same shit. Okay? Please cut it out. And so that's what I'm saying. I do agree with him to his point to that, but I don't agree with him pointing only to black women and saying, look what these guys are doing to you. Because there's another story that's out here that just happened as well. And the young lady is out of Atlanta. I believe her name was Dasani, and she's a dancer. I don't know what all she has going on, but she went to Ghana over the holidays to do whatever with a group of Ghana, they're saying men. I don't know if these are black Africans or not, but I'm going to assume that they are. And she, watch my comments blow up. But anywho, we have to wait for the details for both of these stories, right? So anyway, she was found dead in her hotel room. So that's my whole point. These things are happening to women all across the board. And so we're not going to act like black men are all angels, and we're not going to act like all these other men are all angels. They're not. And women should put caution to the wind when they're dealing with anyone. That's my point, and that's what I wanted to say in this video. I do think that there needs to be a little bit more responsibility, not just by the women, but the men as well, when they're saying all this nonsense. And I've been saying that since I've been here on YouTube. But do I know for sure that this is increasing some of these crimes? No, I don't. I can't say that, and I don't think Tariq can honestly say that as well. Life is real, and just like a black man can harm you, any man can harm you, and you should understand that. Let me know what you guys think about Tariq's video, if you saw the video, the divestment game. And what do you think about the story about Lauren and her family trying to get answers of what happened to her in her apartment? I hear the father saying that she was not a drug addict, so I'm assuming they're trying to say that she may have died a drug overdose, allegedly, because they have not reported how she died yet. But it sounds as if that's what happened. I'm curious to know, did this man give her the drugs? Who is this guy? I think that if he's still on Bumble, or whatever it's called, then the public should know this. The public should be aware of who this guy is. That's what I think. I think that there's no reason for that not to be public. Unless he's a public figure, and that's probably what's going on. That's what I'm wondering. Let me know what you think about that case. What do you think about I think her name is Dasani. They call her Tiger Booty on here on social media. What do you think about her case, her going to Ghana? They said that she reached out to the embassy right before her family and friends lost contact with her, and then they found out she had died in her hotel room. Let me know what you think about that case as well. If because it may be harder for the family to do anything considering that happened so far away. Condolences to both families. Let me know what you guys think about these stories and the divestment sector that's here on YouTube if you're familiar with them. And I'll see you guys in the next video.